For Cheryl Davison, getting on the plane hasn't always been a pleasure.
I've never been a great traveller anyway. I've always flown for work and it's not something I've particularly enjoyed.
But as soon as Tasmania set a date for reopening its borders, she was booking a flight to Queensland to visit her daughter.
I think during this COVID time, it's made many people realise just how distant we are from our relatives that are on the mainland.
For many Tasmanian travellers, there are still plenty of questions about how changes to border restrictions will practically work.
Tasmania is reopening its borders to all states and territories except New South Wales and Victoria. But that doesn't mean Tasmanians can travel everywhere.
Tasmanians will be able to travel to the Northern Territory, South Australia, Queensland and the ACT. But Western Australia has a hard border, meaning only people with an exemption can enter.
And even for the states and territories that are open, Tasmanians may need to fill out a border entry form ahead of arrival and check their travel route, because different jurisdictions have different rules about transiting through hotspots.
At the moment, Hobart and Launceston airports have direct flights to Brisbane, as well as Melbourne and Sydney. There are also flights from Hobart to Adelaide, and in December, flights to the Gold Coast are set to begin. Airlines are expected to put on more flights when the border to New South Wales opens.
We're meant to be socially distancing on land, but what about in the air?
If flights aren't full, there can be some social distancing on planes, but otherwise all seats are filled up. Airlines are handing out hygiene kits that include masks, but depending on the airline, only people travelling to and from Victoria are currently required to wear them. And airlines have reduced their food and beverage options to avoid unnecessary contact.
At Tasmanian airports, when visitors arrive, they'll have their temperature checked, and if they have symptoms, they'll be asked to take a COVID-19 test and isolate until their results come back. But not everyone will be travelling through an airport.
When it comes to the Spirit of Tasmania, passengers from Victoria and New South Wales still won't be allowed on board until December. Passengers from low-risk jurisdictions can get to the Port Melbourne terminal by driving through New South Wales and Victoria, but can only stop for fuel on the way. Passengers need to wear masks when they're boarding and getting off the Spirit, and in public areas on board. And all passengers will get a temperature check on arrival in Tasmania. Ellen Coulter, ABC News.